What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 17th day of June. Here we are, 8 hours and 40 minutes left in the day, sitting at about 1.42 cents, down 3.3% on the day. Bitcoin's down a little bit today, too. We're down about 2% right now, right in an area that I actually expect us to find support in. Let's see. It's a little bit lower than what I thought we'd do yesterday, but let's just see here. Low to high right here at the 1886200 area. I really wouldn't be surprised at all if we found support here, but you never know. If we are to go lower, I'm not going to lie, that could be problematic. We're looking like we're moving down with the purpose, in all fairness. It is possible that Bitcoin could take out this low. It is still possible that we could go down to $95,000 to $96,000, you guys. It very much is possible, or even below that, somewhere in that area. I still maintain the position that this is the low and that this is a higher low and that we're building and we're ready to see new all-time highs, but it wouldn't be terrible if we went down. I mean, if we look at this, right, kind of lower from this high to this low here, kind of coming down, it wouldn't be terrible if we did find support down here. Consolidating longer is not a bad thing. Finding support at prior resistance, shaking out the weak hands, is not a bad thing, but that would throw off our time frames. We would, instead of having an end of month rally, we'd have an end of month dump. Oh man, and we're moving down a little bit more. We're moving down a little bit more right now. Let me look at this. Hold on real quick. I just made a Bitcoin video. I need to delete it and remake it, apparently. Yeah, we're below the golden ratio now. I don't know, though. Whenever Bitcoin makes a move like this, you actually expect volatility. So if we're actually, I'm not too worried about this. If we go to the 786, 886 area, I would expect that we get some volatility to the upside by the end of today. So this probably won't be too much longer lived, but it is going lower than I anticipated it to go. Again, just important to mention, anything can happen. And even if we do go below that low, it's fine, right? It's just longer consolidation, more of a shakeout, shaking out the weak hands, getting the market prepped for that next move down, and OnyxCoin would likely move down with it, right? If Bitcoin holds up, if we don't go below these lows and Bitcoin holds up, then everything I'm going to say in this video will probably reign true. But if not, if I'm wrong and Bitcoin does go to lower lows, well, OnyxCoin will probably follow suit as well. If we're looking at this from a low to a high here, and actually on that note, let's just see what would Bitcoin do if we were to do the unforgivable thing and go down to 95K, about an 8%, 10% drop, right? Something like that. So what would OnyxCoin do then? It'd probably do 16 or more percent. Okay, so yeah, to the golden ratio, through the golden ratio, you'd probably find support around 1.1 cent or 1 cent itself, something like that. Psychological area of support, golden ratio, prior areas of support and resistance. If we were to go down there, it is possible. It very much is possible. But right now, we're maintaining the position that we found support, that this is the low. We've skimmed the golden ratio. Not enough selling pressure down here. All three of these days, all three of them, right? If we're looking at this from a pattern perspective, looking at it from the bull flag perspective, right? Holding this low as support, all three of these days spent below this line were some of the lowest volumes that I've ever seen in a 24-hour period for OnyxCoin ever, right? We only had regular volume come back in yesterday once we actually started to move up, and I'm kind of curious what's the volume like today. XCN, there we are. Let's see here. Loading data. Data. 15%. So yeah, still upholding that volume. Good to see. The fact that we've gotten back in this, as long as we can stay above this line and continue to push higher, we maintain the idea that this is a fake out and that we probably will uphold the sanctity of this bull flag in the sense of going to the measure move all the way up to about 4 to 5 cents. I would say 4.5 to 5.5 cents, maybe even 6 cents or higher. I very much do believe that we're going to see prices that are higher than that in time, expecting that by the end of July we should be around 20 to 32 cents, somewhere in that range, 26 to 32 specifically. Looking at the daily RSI, if today, I wouldn't even say if today closes red, we might even be experiencing this right now. Looking at it here, we have higher highs, we have lower highs here, so that is hidden bearish divergence. Maybe that's why we're finding turbulence right now and moving down. I think we're finding turbulence because Bitcoin's moving down, but however you want to rationalize that on the chart. The RSI is not in a bullish posturing on the daily time frame, but it is getting set up for one. It absolutely is, right? Overall, it's bearish. We've got lower lows, lower highs, the whole shebang. I wouldn't say at this point in time that we've broken out of our downtrend, but we're probably looking to do that. Perhaps we can come down one more time. Sometimes before you break out of a downtrend, you have to move sideways. You have to get a sideways trend, and then you form your uptrend. You know what I mean? It takes time. July should still be a really good month, and I think that going into the end of this month, we are expecting an end of month rally. But that largely depends on what Bitcoin does, right? So if Bitcoin continues to go down, this whole theory of an end of month rally for OnyxCoin just goes out the window, and we would likely see lower prices than this even. So just prepare yourselves, right? I'm not selling anything, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not selling a lick of my OnyxCoin. I actually hope that the price goes down more, because if it goes down more, I can just buy more. But it definitely is discouraging whenever you get a nice day like that and then things move down. Whoever said it yesterday on X, where they're like, all right, now we pumped. Now it's time to bleed down slowly for 6 weeks. They got it good, man. They know the tricks and the fiasco of XCN here. Let's see. Let's look at this from a relative high to a low. Come on now. I mean, you did hit the 382 and you're back below the 236. In all fairness, this is actually very, very suggestive that we would go lower. This is very suggestive that we would go lower. That kind of reaction at the 382. If today closes below the 236, 8 hours, 34 minutes from now, if we close below the 236, the idea would be that we go lower, in all fairness. And if we go lower, a good way to rationalize that also might be that Bitcoin's going lower too. Let's look at the short-term stuff and see if that agrees, okay? 1 hour time frame here. Moving up with a lot of volume. Seeing great volume come in, right? Absolute absence of volume, even on the move down here. But when you moved up, just ferocious with the volume. Even here, moving up with volume, but moving down without it. 1 hour RSI, to me, it does look like it wants to go down. You've got higher lows. Well, that's not the best line to draw, is it? Higher lows here, something like that. Rejecting here, rejecting the 60 area where you don't want to reject, right? Typically, when you reject the 60, that gets you into the oversold zone, or at least below the 40 or around that area. So we're probably going to go a little bit lower. We might be forming a kind of short-term downtrend here. Do we get to the oversold zone or not? I don't know, but something like this would likely bring the price down by the end of today. We'll probably come back down and find support at prior resistance here at about 1.36 cents. And again, if we find support here and we don't come back up and close the day green, to close the day green, we would have to get, let's see, we'd have to get back above. We have to close above 1.467 cents, okay, 0.1467. If we can close above there by the end of the day, and I think we can, OnyxCoin can definitely move up in a very short amount of time, especially from its lows. But if we can't do that, closing below that 236 overall, high to low here, closing below this 236 would indicate that we probably do go lower. So just understand that is kind of vital. It's not, all hope isn't lost if we close below the 236, but it wouldn't look good. Hey, look at that. We're getting a little bounce right now. That's nice to see. But we still got 32 minutes left in the hour, so don't get too excited, right? 15-minute time frame. What's that look like? 15-minute looks bearish. Yes, looks like it's actually just about to start getting bearish. 1 hour time frame looks like it wants to go lower. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we're finding support here. Let's just see. What about the low to high? Yeah, I mean, hey, you're skimming that golden ratio again. XCN likes to do that, man. That's actually a bullish sign. If this hour, if by the time you guys watch this, if we're closing above this 0.5, maybe we don't go lower at all. Maybe we don't test this as support and then we just move up from here. But as of now, just looking at the 1 hour RSI, that would be my expectation, is that we do go down to this area to find support, right around 1.36 cents, okay? 4 hour time frame looking at this. Rejecting the overbought zone. You got into it, you got out of it pretty quickly. We'll call that a rejection. Typically with rejections on the overbought zone, you do bounce off the 50, or you go to the 40 or below that, okay? So one of those three outcomes is likely what's going to happen. We're not quite at the 50 yet. That doesn't mean that we can't bounce here, but typically you would at least interact with that 50. So lower on the 1 hour, lower on the 4 hour, lower on the 15-minute time frame. And technically, even with the fibs, while we are just above the golden ratio, and that would be a good thing if we could hold this and bounce from here. That actually would be a really good look, and we just did that with this low here. Typically, with this kind of reaction, you would expect to go lower, complete the thought, and hit that golden ratio, which is right in this prior area of resistance here that you could be finding support at. So I guess that's what my idea, my thoughts are. We're at 1.4 cents now. We're going to go a little bit lower down to 1.36, 1.38 cents, somewhere in that area. Find support, and then hopefully by the end of the day we can close above. We can close this day green, or maybe not green. I'm sorry. Why did I say green? I'm throwing people off, man. I'm all over the place. I guess, yeah, it is green. Okay. 1.46 cents. That's what we want to close above. You want to close above 1.46 cents today by the end of the day. We're only down 4%. OnyxCoin can move up that much and more in like an hour. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot of time. So fingers crossed we get a bullish finish to today, because if not, this would actually be very indicative of taking out this low and completing the thought of the overall low to high here, hitting that golden ratio right there. And if that happens, whatever. I'll just buy more. I really will, man. I'm kind of hoping that happens. But at the same time, I'm with the rest of you, man. I'm ready for this thing to just take off. We've been patient, OnyxCoin. We've been patient beyond just this range here, right? We've been patient all the way back here. We're waiting. We're waiting for the glory. It's coming. Just got to be a little bit more patient, man. It'll really test you, and it's always darkest before the dawn. I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. And real quick, just to keep it fresh in our brains, I did mention this in the Bitcoin video that I just made. If the FOMC meeting doesn't go our way, which it's looking like it might not, if interest rates do not get dropped, if they don't lower, if they just maintain the same, I don't expect this to impact the markets negatively. I think it's actually a good thing for the interest rates to be dropped slowly over time and not all at once. So I'm not worried about that at all. But I just wanted to include that in case anybody gets super bearish because the Fed doesn't drop interest rates tomorrow. It's really not a big deal. Okay, I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Bye bye.